Drum dampening is something that every drummer has to do at some point. So in this video, we're looking at the best ways and products to dampen your drums. Coming up. Hi, my name is Kevin Zahner, and if this is your first time on Rhythm Notes, please subscribe so we can help you level up your drumming and home recording today. When I worked on this floor tom snare drum project, I was converting a 13-inch tom into a snare drum and a floor tom. Now, that part is in a separate video, and you can check it out on the channel. This floor tom snare drum project was not going so well. I knew it could be the head, but before I changed it, I wanted to try some different dampening methods and products and just figure out if there was something out there that could help the situation better than what I already had or what I already knew. The dampening method I went with was just simple. It was tape. Tape on the underside of the batter head. I put small strips all along where the batter head makes contact with the bearing edge. And when I put it down on the drum and tightened it up, it sounded exactly the way I wanted it to. So let's check out what I learned looking for a dampening method that would fix this problem. So drum dampening can either be with something you have, something that you make, or something that you buy. And not one of those is better than the other, just different methods give you different results. Sometimes all you have is time to grab something like gaff tape and do something like just put strips on the drum. Maybe all you have is some paper towels like from the behind the bar, and you grab some gaff tape and you put a bunch of folds in the towels and just tape them up real quick. Maybe though you have more time to make something with things that you have laying around. Or you have far more planning, like I've had in this case, to buy some products and try them out. So let's start with tape. Tape is something that's usually on hand. Gaffer tape is at most stages. Sound professionals usually have it, and I actually have a roll with me at all times. It's useful because it's strong yet easy to rip, and it does produce good results on the drum. Now you can use whatever tape you have, right? I've used all kinds of tape with no problem, but I particularly like gaffer's tape. Now you can do different things with it. You can lay out strips, and you can lay out strips in like a square pattern. You can just do strips on one side of the drum. Whatever your drum needs to get the sound you're looking for, just try it out. If you're getting value out of this video, hit that like button and please share it with someone who you think might also get value out of it. Other things you can do, you could actually make rolls. Now rolls are like what I used before I learned about Moongel and the gels and things like that. Now rolls is simple. You just roll the tape backwards so that the adhesive side is out. And then you can just put those chunky rolls anywhere on the drum, like I said, similar to like a gel, and there's a lot of flexibility there. Now another one that I've seen people use, and I've used a couple times, is what I call fins. Fins are just like fins on a radiator. You're just going to fold it so that the sticky side goes to the sticky side and sticks up perpendicular from the drum. And then you're going to leave a space in between with some adhesive side that'll adhere to the drum head. Do this 3 or 4 times, 5 or 6, whatever you think you need to achieve the mass that you want on that dampening method. If you want more in-depth explanations about drum tuning and drum dampening, go to rhythmnotes.net. I'll put a link to some articles in the description below. Now, speaking of mass, that brings us to the next kind of grouping of dampening methods, mass. Now I usually use like a wallet. I'll just take the wallet out of my pocket, put it on the drum. If the drum's too loud in the room, I want just a quick dampening method. Maybe I wanted a tight snare sound. The wallet works great. But if you lay into it too much, it's going to fly all over the place. Your credit card's going to whiz across the bar, and that's no good. So I actually researched this problem and found Snareweight. I wondered, is there anything out there that's like a wallet or gives you that sort of dampening method, but will stay on the drum and work great? And those keywords in the Google search led me to Snareweight. The nice thing about the Snareweight is you can fold the sides up to reduce the surface area of the leather. The other nice thing about this is not only do you have those options for how much surface area you're going to actually dampen up the head, it doesn't change the tone of the drum. It just reduces the ring. You still get that warm drum sound. You still get the tone. It still sounds like the drum, just with less ring from the head. That's great. That's exactly what most of us are looking for. It's a good product. Check it out. I'll put links in the description below. Now, another sort of mass product would be, like I mentioned earlier, like folding up paper towels or tissues. Tissues are a little softer. They're more preferable in a lot of ways, but all you have to do is take a bunch of tissues, put a piece of tape on just one side, and lay it on the drum. That mass will absorb so much of the ring. It'll be a pretty dead sound, kind of like you have your fat wallet up there, and you can grab it and pull it off. If you have to pull it off after a song, or you don't like it and you want to change it in the middle of the gig, it's not a big deal. Likewise, you can put it back on. I've had to do that before. Piece of cake, it's very quick. Gels are the next grouping. Now, I always used Moongels, but I thought, is there something else out there that works too? And I found TruTone and Meinl Honey. Now, these all are kind of nice and a little bit different, but they all do the same thing. The TruTones are nice because they come in a nice case. They also are very, very tacky, maybe even a little bit more tacky than the Moongels. And they come in different sizes, so you don't have to cut them. The Moongels you have to cut, but what's nice about all of these is if they do lose their tackiness, you can wash them with some soap and it'll bring back the tackiness to a degree. Just be gentle with that. Now, they all have cases, all three of these products, so that also helps keep them clean, and they're not that expensive. So I usually buy one or two at a time just in case they get dirty or fall off or I lose them. It's always nice to have a backup set ready to go. The next group of methods and products are snare drum toppers, and this is really fun stuff. So you can use what you have, you can make these, or you can buy them. If you use what you have, you just take an old head and turn it upside down and put it on the drum. You're ready to go. If you want to make something that's a little bit more permanent and maybe allows you to still access the rim of the drum, just cut rings out of the old head. So you can cut a full topper or you can cut rings out and place them on the head. You can also buy rings that are already pre-cut and sized for the drum. That leads me to the last one of my new best friends, the Big Fat Snare Drum toppers. Now there's a bunch in their series. There's a bunch of different products that come from this company. I actually bought two of them. One was the Snare and which has jingles in it, and the other one was Steve's Donut, which is nice because it's a thick ring with the center of the snare drum head exposed. I like that because you still get the stick on the snare drum head sound, but it's a very aggressive dampening of the drum, which is perfect when you need that fat, dead sound. The last group of drum dampening methods and products are mutes and mufflers. Now, practice mutes are usually for lowering the volume of the drums, and mufflers are often for dampening, but also sometimes for lowering the volume too. I don't use mufflers as much, and I use practice mutes. Maybe sometimes if it's just too loud and I want to really lay into it, it's just too much. Or if you live in an apartment or something like that, or if it's you're doing lessons, drum lessons, it's not great to be really wailing with, like, young children's ears. They're very sensitive. So mutes are a very good thing to have in case you need them. I generally don't record with them or play live gigs with them, but they're definitely a drum dampening method worth talking about. As far as drum mufflers that you can make, one of my favorites is the tape and cymbal felt. You just put a piece of cymbal felt on one end, and the tape stretches across to the rim of the drum where it adheres to the rim, and when you hit the drum, it flops up and then down and mutes the drum. So you'll let the tone out from the drum, and then it's gonna kind of calm down the head a little bit, but it's not as aggressive as just taping some tissues or felts to the drum. So it lets some of that tone and resonance from the drum, but then it calms the head down a little bit when it flops back down. And the last one for this list is one of my favorites. Shirts and towels. Shirts and towels, I always have shirts and towels in my percussion bag ready to go, because especially for like a side snare, you put a shirt on it and then put a tambourine, you have basically 3 different sounds. If the shirt's only halfway across the drum, you can hit the head that's exposed and that's one sound, hit the shirt side and that's another sound, and then put a tambourine on it and you have a third sound. But I also like a more aggressive approach once in a while, like a towel. A towel is far more aggressive. If you like this video and you want to watch more, check out this one suggested to you by YouTube, and check out this one suggested to you by Rhythm Notes. Please subscribe so we can help you level up your drumming and home recording today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.